Dude, just fight the goddamn oopsie baby. What is... Just fight the baby! Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. You may have noticed the pop filter, and you may have noticed my voice. We're going to be trying today. I'm going to keep the mic real close. I got the pop filters expressly because I knew that my voice was not going to work out. This allergies or whatever is kicking my ass right now is influencing the volume of my voice. So we're going to be looking at some viewer games tonight, a little more laid back. We'll run through probably pretty quickly. We'll see how things go. But before we get into it, I, of course, have to let everybody know that I am part of the content affiliate program. That means that the Phobies team does, in fact, give me coffee for producing Phobies content. You may see the 9K over here. And, well, we're almost into the next month for the next batch. So we're going to jump in. Gotta put the old spoiler blocker. So, the only reason I'm going to assume that this is supposed to be cheeseburger, but the spreadsheet says cheeseburg 779, but that person doesn't exist, and it's also too long of a name for Phobies. So we're going to jump in here. Oh, Jesus alive. You know, we probably would have been better off just skipping this game. Because I could easily say they put the wrong name in the spreadsheet, so I don't know who it is, but I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be cheeseburger. This is a 50 turn game on Noobsim. Why, I don't know. The baby needs some milk. I need some caffeine, I guess, to make it through this marathon that is this game. Why is this a 50-turn game? Like, what happened? I don't even know that I want to know what happens in this game. That's a 50-turn game. It's funny because a lot of recent discussions have centered around the idea that this is a very aggressive map and that you can really hard push your opponent and threaten hard pushes. And then we have a 50-turn game because, I don't know, the viewers hate us, I guess, something like that. We'll see if we get into any rant topics. I perused the viewer game list, and there's a few that may spur some discussions. We'll see how it goes. I've been testing Star Wars most of the day, trying to prep for some tournaments coming up, and it didn't go well. It's not going well. Why is there a sucky? Does that really need to happen? There really need to be a sucky on the board? Because I don't... that seems suspect. Questionable at best. Like, I can... Ooh, we get an Ash out of someone that isn't Koro. I don't know about this one, because that seems weird. Just play the aggro deck and accidentally win. So, I would. But I don't want to play the aggro deck, because I personally think the best aggro deck is the best deck right now. It's not like tier 0, but it's really good. And the mirror is apparently, like, highly volatile. Volatile. And as a result, I just don't want to play mirrors, because it would be very easy to go, like, 4 and 3 on the day, because you'll lose some coin flips or something like that. I also haven't tested the mirror at all. There is another aggressive deck that on paper should have a good matchup into the best aggro deck. It has worse matchups against other things. That's why it's not the de facto best aggro. But the issue is, I don't think it actually has a good matchup. I think it's an underdog. And it's just compared to everything else against the best aggro, it has a good matchup. But at the 10,000 foot view, it's still a bad matchup, so I don't know. We have a foul because reasons. I don't know. Somebody's going to have to explain this entire game to me because none of this really makes any sense. To be honest, I don't remember the last time I saw a terraformer on this map. Oh, I take that back. We've seen a bunch of Crushmores, but that's really because it's a lob and you're trying to set up a lob to go heart. Sure. Is this Snappy dead? Dude, is this Snappy dead? Oh my god. Yikes. I don't think you can kill this foul. It's possible with... because you get effectively one Klepto hit, one Charon hit, one Stabby hit, and one Fireball. We're not going to go for it anyway, so it doesn't matter. We're going to try and take down Ash. Alright, we have an Oopsie Baby. I don't love this setup. I feel as though bad guy can punish this really bad. Alright, I'm not going to lie. We're not rooting for bad guy, but I do appreciate the foul usage where it's not really focusing on the disease. Bad guy's just going in and slicing the hell out of everything. Sounds like you need some caffeine. Possibly. Possibly. I don't usually drink that much caffeine. At least, as I understand. Like, I'm well under what is recommended. Alright, so this is a dead foul. The chicken is, in fact, cooked. Can't kill the jar, though. Pterodactyl. I mean... okay. So we're getting some weird trades here overall. Like, I mean, maybe this is optimal, but I kind of doubt it. Why did that happen? Was that really necessary? To let you, like, couldn't you have done most of this and saved the jar? I don't... dude, what is happening? What is going on in this game? So, our hero is like miles ahead at this point, right? Like, bad guy's gonna have a hell of a time killing the pterodactyl. They didn't even kill the snowball here. Dude, what? I don't really agree with a lot of that. Could bad guy not have just killed the pterodactyl? I mean, I get why they're going hard here, but I don't think they could actually race this. I feel like you could have hit the pterodactyl 4 times, 2 klepto hits, 1 each from Sparky and Charon, and then ran the snowball in to step on it. I mean, you're not gonna burn the heart down yet. Is this a dead? This has to be dead, right? Snowball can even escape. Yeah, I don't... Sparky down. Panic points in favor of our hero. Dude, this one, I don't even know what the hell is happening here. We're only halfway through this goddamn game. What is going on? Like, I thought our hero was miles ahead, but now they're behind. Admittedly, bad guy's gonna have to commit something to die in order to fix this. Dude, seriously, like, our heroes should be cooked here. Is that even worth it? Dude, how do you win this from this position? I guess bad guy can never actually retake panic points, though, right? Because the Klepto has to do it. The Charon can't. And the only healing spa is in the center of the map. I don't think you want to do that, bad guy. You need to preserve health on that Klepto. Now the Klepto is, like, I think it's trapped. I don't think there's any way for it to escape. And you can't get the Charon that... Oh, no, I don't like that. You needed the Charon to come support. Okay, yeah, you can double run. Like, I think you go after the oopsie baby. This only has, like, 1,000 health. What are you doing? Oh my god. I don't... This one absolutely appears as though bad guy does not want to win. Like, what are they doing? Our hero's gonna win through heart damage after all of this. Dude, just fight the goddamn oopsie baby. What is... Just fight the baby! Oh god, this is... Just making a note here, chat. Just taking some notes. Taking some notes. Oh, bad guy decided to engage the baby. Don't hit the baby. No, wasn't it don't kick the baby? What was it from Dinosaurs? Like, there had to have been a turn here. Okay, so hold on. I took too long to pause it. This is at 560 health. This is doing literally 0 damage. Like, the turn when the oopsie baby went up to go fight the Klepto the first time, I think you commit with the Klepto and the Charon. Because the oopsie baby... Like, you had the opportunity to poop on the healing spot, so the oopsie baby can't heal. It was on the lava, so, like, if it stays to fight, it's taking damage, and so, like, if it can't simultaneously kill the Klepto, power you down, and get off the lava. How is this game 50 turns long? Because the last, no joke, like 30 turns have been bad guy just doing everything in their power to lose. And this is a very card game thing. It's funny you ask, because this is absolutely evidence of trying not to lose instead of trying to win. Bad guys spent, no joke, like 30 turns trying not to lose instead of trying to win. And they lost. GG. This is why they play the game and why people don't surrender, because it's like you never know if your opponent actually knows how to close the game out. Because there were multiple points where it definitely felt like our hero was basically gone. They were essentially done for, and yet bad guy went out of their way to ensure that our hero was in fact not eliminated from the game. Looks like Dama is disappointing us once again. Did not favor the game. Oh, I take it back. They did. They just put the name wrong in the profile. You'll see when we get it. Dama's our hero here on Another One Bites the Dust versus name 000018. Sure. Featuring Russell, Akira, Tractor, and Repeller on Another One Bites the Dust, also featuring an abusive enemy shovel at the end of the game. Okay. This game is just a hair, tad, a bit, scotch, over half of the previous game. It's actually kind of ridiculous. It's very, 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 very silly. When the first 000017 name's taken. Apparently. And they didn't feel creative enough to come up with something else. Technically, by definition, every name in-game is unique. You know what always bothered me for in-game names was when I was playing Heroes of the Storm and people would name, like, they would change their Battle.net account name to be like Samuro, which is a hero in Hero of the Storms. It's the Orc Blade Master. But then they would play as like Zarya from Overwatch or something like that, or just like any character but Samuro. It just annoys me. And I will say that the Space Marine 2 names are just, like, absolutely insane. Like, I think people are trying really hard, and some of them are succeeding to make absurd names. Like, what was the one today? I played a couple quick multiplayer games, and there was one that was, like, 69... terafarts per mega shit or something like that, or 69 tera shits per mega fart or something. Like, I don't remember what it was. It was like one of those two. There's another one named Sticky Socks. It's just like, what? I didn't even notice the guy's name at first, and then I marked him to be like, oh, there's a guy over there. And it announces in the text box, it says, RT Chomp notifies their team or whatever of Sticky Socks or something like that. All right, we get the rustle at least. We get the rustle at least. All right, there's the shove shark. Yikes. Ouch, down population, that Hevo. That one was like an onboard trick, so I don't know why Dama allowed that to happen. That's basically where I'm going with it. I feel like that was just a lapse, temporary lapse, right? Like, you just made a mistake. It happens. There is, in fact, the rustle. 12 keys for bad guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 phobies, though. So they're maxed out. Gonna be taking some poison damage for a little bit. Can't get a healer yet. There was a guy that used to play MTG Arena named Red Deck Wins Only. The one time I played against him, he was indeed playing Red Deck Wins, but I don't know if he fully committed or not. I guess it depends, like, because for something like that, you could just have multiple profiles, right? How did this Moffat not die? I mean, it's gonna die at a turn, but like... Oh, for a second, I thought the repeller was gonna kill the stabby and get pulled into the pit, and I'm like, what are you doing? But instead, it's a droney assassin. We haven't had one of those in a while. It's been a long time since a droney assassin. That's what I meant to do today, Chad. I was going to look up more Killer Clowns from Outer Space toys. After watching the movie yesterday, I kind of got inspired to get some more, if they're decent toys. Because there's a bunch that are effectively McFarlane toys. They might literally be McFarlane toys. And those are essentially statues. Like, they don't have knees, or like the only arm joints they have are at the shoulders. They can like lift their arm up and that's it. Boop. That's 2 displacement kills for bad guy. But we are going to get several poison kills before the end of this. At least a couple. I'm not going to lie. Our hero seems like they're in trouble here. Down goes the corn. Ooh, a little heebie-jeebie special action. I actually got... What? Was that a bachelor? I mean, it would have died anyway from killing the bachelor. Because then it would have, like... It would have taken the poison damage at the end of the turn due to the dimensional damage of the poison damage would have got it. But I was going to point out that I did get a random message from Eric Cake in Discord, in the main Discord, saying something about the heebie-jeebies special, which I thought was really funny. I really want that to be a thing, and I really want that to be part of their design meetings. I will say, compared to a lot of other B movies, it's quick enough pace that even if it does suck, it never drags. I was telling my wife, I was shocked at how fast it got into things happening. It was like, no joke, 2 minutes into the movie and bang! The clowns are on screen and they're already getting people. The part that bothered me is, and I mentioned this in Discord, I forgot that... Or maybe I never saw that scene. Like, maybe I saw it starting later in the movie. It is implied they get the dog in the beginning. And that made me very unhappy. I think there's like 5 minutes of setup. It might literally be less than 5 minutes. I'd have to go back and rewatch. But, like, the entire movie is... Like, there is shit happening the whole time. Which is cool. It's well done. It's very 80s towards the end, like the set pieces and stuff. All right, hold on. Hold, please. We get the pull into the pull into the push. Is that a dead Noxious? It's not a dead Noxious, so that's actually a problem. Bad guy, that is. This might be a dead Repeller. No. Yes. That's an interesting boop there. But yeah, I don't think bad guy has the damage. They had all those displacement tools, got all those displacement kills, and it still wasn't quite enough damage. That's kind of wild. I thought the Repeller was a bit much. Like, it is rare that you want... Wait, what? Yo, who did Cars submit that game from last week? Hold on, I gotta look this up. You're gonna lose sound for a little bit. Oh, Guessu00. It looks like Karst, it looks like that strategy is spreading. It looks like that strategy is spreading, or at least a variation. This strategy is evolving. It's evolving in real time. I guarantee Dama submitted the game strictly because of that. Like, otherwise, I mean, having all those other phobies was cool. I do think there is an upper limit on... At a certain point, you need phobies that can actually fight. And Akira can fight, Attractor can fight, Repeller can fight, but they're all kind of like subpar fighting compared to true fighting phobies, so you need to get, apparently, you need to get a little more mileage out of your displacement tools, although I'm sure we could watch more carefully instead of talking about killer clowns from outer space and find where bad guy made errors there, allowing our hero to take it. But GG. GG. Chat, why do people submit these games? Alright, let's see. Where is it? Our hero here is noobsim. And the notes are, there's no such thing as a boring match. Me. So we'll see what happens here on Eternal Monday. I will say, the high five strat that Karst championed, I want to say it was Karst. I'm pretty sure we saw Karst do it first, but I could be wrong. It seemed to be working out for people in Discord, so... This was actually the game that made me think of a comment Speak the Devil Karst made in Discord. They had pinged me about something. Oh, yeah. So it was actually in the context. I was looking in Discord real quick to remind myself. So I don't know what the preceding comment was because I didn't... Like, the chat was moving too quick. But Karst had said that me, Miss Cha... Man in Yellow and maybe some other people had at one point been trying to like document, here are the standard openers for insert maps or whatever, and that project fell off, and it did. There's a number of reasons why I stopped. I don't know why other people stopped. And Karst had pointed out that they were actively avoiding talking about the theory and strategy of that level because it does introduce homogeny. Like, it's going to push everybody to be like, oh, well, this is the standard thing to do. So I'm going to go with the standard because that's the most promising thing. I don't agree with Karst for two reasons. Because, well, I agree with what the outcome is. I don't agree that it's a problem. I don't find that boring. I liken... It's funny, we were talking about killer clowns. That's a Graylien. So I liken deck building in card games and the strategy discovery in Phobies to jump scares in movies, we'll say. And the reason I say that is it is interesting and entertaining for like 5 seconds. And then it goes away. To me, the way more entertaining and interesting thing is repeated execution. The fact that you can execute a plan or adapt a plan on the fly in the moment. is way more interesting to me. Even if, especially in light of if you are doing something standard and your opponent knows what you're going to do, and you know what? You dominate them anyway. That is way more interesting to me than, oh, you came up with this cool strategy that uses this unique phobie. And I understand that's not everybody's thing. But I think that my way of looking at it is long-term healthier for both the player and the game. The reason being is, obviously, there's only so many phobies. Eventually, all of them will have their exciting moment. And I think the sooner we can get past that, and if you are still interested in the game, and it's fine if that is not what draws you to phobies or games in general. But I think you have to recognize that, especially given the way phobies economy is, you are going to run out of those moments very, very quickly. Because you're just not constantly getting new phobies. You're not constantly having phobies at a level that can meaningfully contribute to whatever you're doing. So I understand why people have that perspective, and I get it. I don't feel that way, and I hope people in general don't, mostly because I think you will get bored very quickly. I think the discovery phase of things is boring, personally. I just don't find it all that thrilling. So, like I said, it's more philosophy, I guess, than anything else. Like, whether you care or not, or what will or won't care, which we're watching more one keys get sent to their doom. One keys just marching out to the gallows as soon as they come out of the vault. One of you put a high five on the board. I mean, it's too late now. It'd be cool if you could put a high five on the board right now, because that would be cheating. I guess it wouldn't be cool, but it would be a funny bug. You know, our hero is kind of at a big advantage here. Maybe not a big advantage. What they need to do is if they can get the Graylien to connect with something meaningful. The Graylien is actually fairly tanky and fairly threatening. So, if you are able to get that to swap something, burn that thing down, your opponent's not necessarily going to have... Like, they just don't have enough keys. Again, Attractor is powerful, but it is not a direct combat phobie. Normally, we see this kind of exchange go in favor of player 2 because they have an extra key, and the Attractor is often so dangerous late game. But our hero here has been able to preserve this Graylien this entire time. See, like, this is way more interesting to me, just like the execution piece. But I also personally really enjoy, like, if I find something I like doing, I just do that thing, and I do it a lot. I don't need to have new experiences every time, and I'm not saying that that's bad or wrong. Like, if other people want to live their life differently for phobies or otherwise, whatever, that's fine. But for me, it's fine, and I like the idea of the standardization of openers. It's just an enormous amount of work, and ultimately, it doesn't matter for 99.9% of the Phobies player base, because it doesn't matter if Stabby is the standard thing on a given map. What if you don't have Stabby? Well, you start with Stabby. So, like, whatever the standard opener happens to be, it's like, well, you're below that stress level, or you haven't opened that phobie, or you have it, but it's not up to appropriate level. Like, it doesn't matter. I think the game would be a lot more interesting if everybody had access to stuff and we were able to work out those standardized plays. Because I think that level of creativity gets a lot more interesting. When it's, okay, these are all the standards, and you know what, okay, my opponent has done this, and then you can play upon standard practices, standard plays. Alright, we're down to 0 keys versus 0 keys. And like I said, I don't... Well, there might be enough damage. So, 2 stabby hits, Gravedigger Stem, and Canine. That might be enough damage? I'm not sure. Hey, what's good, random? Just random stuff. I was gonna say there's a world in which this Canine dives the heart and presents an issue for our hero, but they still have a ton of health left. No way, this lived! Oh, that's bad news for you, bad guy. Like I said, this thing is pretty tanky. And you can't tell me that, like, bad guy didn't see this play coming, because this was being set up over the course of however many turns we watched them just march 1 keys into the wood chipper. Like, come on. Come on. You had plenty of time to come up with a counterplay. Oh, we're just going for the heart? Lol. That is kind of risky, isn't it? Nah, I guess not, because this can't kill it. I hope our hero counted that up, because, like, if their stabby died, they might have been dead. Ball game. Wow. I wouldn't... I'm sure while you were playing it felt very silly, but... I mean, we've talked about this so many times. I don't know if I really want to go through it again, but the bottom line is, like, don't trade 1 keys unless you know what your end state is. And given that our hero already had the Gralien on the board for some time, bad guy needed to come up with a solution to it and just didn't. I don't know how else to put it. That being said, there are more interesting ways to play that map. Alright, so I don't know if this is the same. I'm confused. So, the next game up is either No End to Pain or Endless Pain. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that's the same person with an alt account. They submitted the same opponent, and then the date the game was played, one was 9/16 and one was 9/6. So I don't know if it was a typo or not, but No End to Pain is not an account that exists. So I'm not sure who or what that's supposed to be. We'll mark that one as unwatchable. Okay, so there are... Oh, they put in the notes. Also, I accidentally used my other internet name in a different submission. Whoops. That's fine, but... So you have... I don't know which one we're supposed to fucking be watching. Alright, I'm gonna do the older one. And... that way they could leave the other one on their profile? I don't know. Endless Pain is our hero here with an exceptionally confusing submission. A very interesting and confusing game. Well, everything about this one was confusing to me. So, I don't know. We'll see if this game is confusing, because we had some confusing games earlier. Why the jackalopes? I guess this is the confusing part. Isn't Stelios one of the players that has, like, 1 million stress levels? I mean, They they certainly outlevel our hero, but not by, like, an enormous margin. Well, it is a very large margin, but a lot of people are going to look at level 25 Phobies and be like, oh my god, that's so much. But our hero does have a level 19 Phobies. And that is, in fact, a trifecta of jackalopes. A quartet, if you will. When are we going to get the next jackalope? I'm very curious about the next update, chat. Honestly, I'm way more interested in seeing what the new maps are and if they're going to make any quality of life changes. Those are the big things to me. Economy changes, quality of life changes. I guess some of the map-related stuff would fall into the quality of life stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. I want to see new phobies. I want to see new stuff. But I am way less interested in that stuff than most other people because the maps impact everything. Like, on a new map, all the phobie relationships are up for grabs. Whereas a new phobie is only going to work within certain contexts, generally speaking. So, we'll see. I think if you get all 4 in plays, you get a free backpat. You get a free boot in the ass, because you're usually getting stomped. Unfortunately, for all of you jackalope enthusiasts out there. I was so excited when I got the king jackalope back in the day. Like, way back when. And then, yeah. Turns out the jackalopes are doo-doo. Russell, for a second time. You know, they're supposed to be making a Gladiator sequel. I haven't really followed it. And I've definitely known about it for some time, and I keep forgetting that it's happening because it's just like, I don't understand what they're doing. Like, what I don't get it. Everybody died at the end of the first one. Well, not everybody, but like all the important people died, right? Spoiler alert. Alright, big poison damage going down. Is that true, Atona? Jackalope number 1, biting the dust. 15 keys available for bad guy. What are they going to supplement with? Because they have to be doing the meme thing. Otherwise, why would they be doing this? Like, cook that klepto. Beating up the potato. That's a Frosty. It's a level 18 Frosty. Dad, I gotta take a quick break after this. Down goes jackalope number 2. And then there were 2. No! Another jackalope. No! I mean, we all knew it was him. Why is there a sizzle? I guess to counter the Frosty... seems sus. This is a pretty good freeze. Get the Russell, get the Hematic. Although the Hematic's gonna get thawed. Hematic's gonna get thawed. Bad guy's enormous bank of keys has suddenly dissipated. Guess they're willing to let Charon go. Or not. Hopes and dreams pretty much all riding on Rusty. 6 keys in the bank for our hero. Immediate thaw for Hermetic. Notably, the Russell is occupying the stem, so nothing wild coming out of there. Goon! I see your bomb. I raise you a goon. Would it have been funnier if Goon had, like, a Happy Gilmore theme? That'd have been better than Jason. Would anyone even get that reference? Ooh, double kill for bad guy. I don't think it matters. Because once this Frosty goes down, like, there's really not much left on this team. Goon can get a pretty decent blom here. Frosty is 100% gonna die. Oh, that's our hero's murder wing. Blom. Yeah, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Not bad there, Endless. Not bad. Definitely a weird game. I don't know if I would call it confusing, but GG. All right. Give me 1 second, chat. I'll be right back. For a brief moment, I thought we lost the game, but Cobralt, our hero here, down to the wire. Respect my opponent for the very close match. All right. Muso Mia, huh? Let's see what we got. Yeah, I'm actually very curious to see if the new update will have new tiles or something like that. Jammy Fish into Gonzo. Where's Koro? Where's DT? Where's our Jammy Fish enjoyers? I don't know that I like this opener on this map, simply because of what our hero was able to do. Like, aggressively cap these points, but... I mean, that's going to be true of virtually anything. Yeah, exactly. That irony can be pretty ironic. Alright, so we're going to get a 3-to-1 panic point advantage. 4-to-1 panic point advantage, because the cowbell can take the northern panic point, and it's not going to be immediately removed by the jammy fish, because the cassowary can cover it. Yeah, I don't love this opener. I mean, respect to the jammy fish usage, but... First, within this very minute. Jammy Fish... okay, so the opener was Jammy Fish, Gonzo, Evo 3.0. Sure. Alright, the opener was Gonzo, Evo 3.0. Dude, how is this game close? Our hero looks like they are cooking bad guy. I mean, you're going to lose the snowball and cassowary here. That's for sure. But, like, that's a lot of pressure. Going to add up fast. Alright, so we have Creep Poison going down on Hevo 3.0, because reasons. It's really just for the damage. Ooh, a little cupcake action. Alright. Ogre. Apparently, it's all Ogre. This was bad guy's plan all along. It was bad guy's plan all along. Okay, you're gonna have to let me know that I have the pop filter, how much different the sound quality is. Like I said, I wanted to keep it really close because I didn't want to have to yell. Alright, bad guy trying to stabilize here. The Evo does cut off the retreat from this gravedigger. I guess there's places it could go, but it's not going to be great. Oh, no! Alright, this is getting weird now. Didn't kill the snowball. Like, not enough damage from the blasto. I can understand wanting to hold on to the cupcake, but wouldn't you want to remove it? I don't know. I feel like it would have been worth it. Apparently not. I'm a little bit surprised there is no shove shark. Maybe our hero doesn't have it, but a shove shark here would have been nice to assist the blasto's fat ass moving around the map. I assume that was required in order to make that kill happen. Otherwise, why would you do that? Speak of the devil, there is in fact a shove shark. Bad guy with the panic point advantage, but our hero marching on the heart. A lot of damage going to go down onto this blasto, but not enough to kill it. Presumably. And then everything's going to be in... Dude... 140 health. Our hero must have counted that up. Hopefully. If it was me, I would have just said, it's not going to die. 7 keys to 8 remaining. Obviously, we're going to get the cupcake now. Mostly for the heal, probably, but... We do get the big AoE hits. Challenge play. Wait, what? Could you not have just... I guess, I don't know. But either way, that is a now immortal Skinwalker right on the heart. Ha! We got the droney into the Morty. You love to see it. Unless you're a bad guy, in which case you are pooping your pants right about now. Oh no! You can't do it yet, though. Dude, there's so many more turns left in this game. How does that happen? I'll tell you how it happens, because you can't close the gap quickly enough with the other phobies. To place... I guess. 13. How much does this do? 952. Not quite enough. But you can't, in fact, kill the Skinwalker right now. So just trying to dodge the spider pole. Big old body blocks going down. When does the Skinwalker effect wear off? At the start of the turn? I mean, the Morty can get there. Oh my god! Yo! Boop! Dude, that Hevo... That Hevo had a rough game. That Hevo had a rough game. This thing is back at full health. Literally went from 1 to full. Redonkulous. The ogre! Chat, it's all ogre. It's all ogre but the crying. It's all ogre but the crying. Okay, this game... His game did get very close. This game got very close very fast. That's wild. GG. That's probably the best game of the night thus far, I would say. Probably the best game of the night thus far. Hey, speaking of chat... Dude, I hate my sinuses. It's gotta be allergies. Which had gone away for years, so I don't know what's causing them to come back. We got a game from justrandomst. Get gooned. Hey now. Hey now. Why do we have no sound? That was weird. The classic double dog opener. I double dog dare you to open with K9000. Seems like an error. Could in fact be a mistake. So I was playing Space Marine offline, chat, and I tried the co-op, like, side story mission kind of thing. It's only a mistake if it doesn't work. I don't know if that's true. But, like, there's the campaign, there's the PvP mode, and then there's another PvE mode. And I just joined a random mission. And so you are supposed to protect a tomb world. And the final boss of the area was actually a pretty cool fight. It was interesting. And I could definitely see on higher difficulties where it's, like, super hectic and it's going to be wild. Like, I think it'll be fun. I mean, not that it wasn't fun to play it, but there was a line in the beginning where, like, one of the characters, I think one of the NPCs says something like, they will pay for desecrating this tomb world, because it's literally a planet devoted to being a graveyard for the Imperials. We're talking Warhammer 40k. And he says this as he is literally sprinting full tilt through the headstones of said graveyard. And when I say running through them, sprinting through them, full tilt, that is not an exaggeration. I'm watching the tombstones get pulverized into dust as you just plow through them. It's like, they will pay for desecrating this graveyard as you are fucking demolishing it yourself. Like, it's just... The irony was hilarious to me. Like, I laughed so hard. It was so dumb. To be fair, I don't think there was a way to avoid it because it wasn't like... It very much looked like they built the tomb world by just literally dumping bodies on there. There was no organization whatsoever. There was no way you could traverse it without having to trample over something. Which is like, I feel like there's a more respectful way to do this. It's also interesting to me that they even have the concept of a tomb world like that. Because, as I understand in the Warhammer 40k universe, they literally have Soylent Green. They just call it corpse starch. That is a great bomb! Holy crap, we gotta go back and look at this. Bad guy just walked into this one. I mean, you only get the takedown here on the cowbell, but that's a big chunk of damage going down on those phobies that helps you out for future turns. Bad guy. Can't be lying. You literally lined up for that. You literally lined up for that. Fire Phobies 2, in fact, for our hero. Although the Hevo was probably there to begin with. Opponent didn't respect the goon. Has the goon earned its respect now? Why did that happen? To prevent the snowball over the top? I guess. I don't mind this setup. This feels like it's trying to bait the Frosty, which won't happen, but... That's an Alistor. We haven't seen one of those in a while. Actually, we have seen one recently, I think. Used to be way more common pre-nerf. An appropriate nerf, I think. It's a phobie that, if it were good, like when it's good, it's going to feel oppressive just by the way it functions. Alright, so we're going to freeze the Hevo. We do have a Dr. Dermic in order to try and prep heals here. Snowball's already on the board, so there's no other fire phobia, I think, that can reach this right now. Actually, you have 7 keys. You could have, like, a fire ant, I guess. I think that's the only thing. Okay, fire ant. As mentioned. Fire ant with a thaw, and now bad guy is regretting every life decision that has led them to this place. We're gonna get... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no. Get gooned! Get hot dogged. It doesn't really make much sense in this context, but we're gonna go with get hot dogged. Bad guy just got annihilated there. Admittedly, there is now a diseased fire ant, but who cares? Bad guy taking a massive panic point advantage temporarily. Our hero will, of course, be able to reclaim some very quickly. 1,350 damage. I mean, that adds up pretty damn quick. I do like the positioning on the Hevo. Making sure you kind of cut off the retreat here. Or force a specific retreat path from the Noxus. I don't think you can go behind the heart here, so, like, this is fine. Bad guy, of course, trying to continue to pressure, but it don't matter. That Clinico's dead, that Drone's dead, that Noxus should be dead. I don't know if they'll be able to... 1, 2, 3, 4... I don't think you can recap any further panic points unless you go for the one at the top, but you're going to need help to remove everything. Oh, interesting. We're going to leave the Droney alone, but it doesn't matter. Stabilizing the panic points. Droney is not going to get there. Yeah, those were some pretty solid goon hits, I'm not going to lie. Those are some really strong goon hits. Very well done. Compared to the earlier games where I think people were just trolling me with, hey, look at this 50-turn game. Yeah, why not throw out a trap? 6 extra XP. GG. Very well played. Well played. I only got through 6 games so far, chat, because we had 2 50-turn games. Let's see if that continues. Hopefully not. God help me. Ooh, this ought to be interesting. dearh going up against Man in Yellow. Lots of exciting stuff happening at the end. Big 3 units sent into the abyss at the same time. Still manages to win. All right, let's see. I'll believe it when I see it. Man in Yellow, another content creator for Phobies. Shout out to them. You know, all year, chat, I was planning on doing a What Does Phobies Need video. It's now almost October. I still haven't done it. I'm probably just going to wait until, like, New Year's and do it around then and be like, the year in review, and here's what Phobies needs. I say that now and I won't do it, but we can hope. I don't know how much of a difference it'll make, and the entire video is basically fix the economy. It's funny because we were talking offline about a new card game, and my first thought whenever I look at a game is when it's a live service type game like this, where it's not I buy it and then you play it and then you're done. It's you're playing it to continue playing it because they want to keep selling you stuff. I always want to see how does it make money? Like, what is the method by which it generates income, because that will tell you a lot about the game's plans and how it needs to be structured. That is a very early Morty. It's entirely possible this Morty just dies. And I'm assuming Man in Yellow would not have done that if Innocuous plus Razor Mouth is enough. It is in fact not. Although that Morty does regret its life's decisions. But yeah, it's interesting when you look at a game and you're like, I can't figure out how this game makes money. Because those games usually don't last. Phobies is much more obvious, but the reason I was even bringing it up is the usual argument of Phobies needs to fix its economy. There are serious issues with it. Evening out the panic points, bringing in Stabby. I guess I don't hate the Stabby in this scenario. Spiders eat spiders all the time. Or in this case, fling them into giant pits. All right, a tractor. This is starting to look like one of the earlier games where it's just like a lot of support Phobies, but both players do have 2 displacement Phobies on the board. The Morty is, of course, waiting for its chance to get one last snipe. Ready to go in for one last job. Alright. Trading 1 keys. Burning cooldowns on 1 keys. Bad guy slowly developing their position. 15 to 18 keys, though. There's still a lot of things left in this game. There, in fact, is the Akira. Looking even more like those earlier games. And that... paddles, huh? Why? The counter Akira. This is the frustrating thing. I don't think that the answer to Akira is Akira as often as people do it. It probably is the answer to a degree, as in there's only so many responses when you're at this stage in the game. Like, realistically, what else is bad guy supposed to put on the board with 15 keys to try and fight the Akira? Especially on a map with Abyss tile. So normally you can make the argument, oh, put 2 or 3 super tanky things. Let them pull you, they can't kill your stuff, like Blondie. Put Blondie on the board alongside a Cerberus or something, and say, okay, yeah, use Yoinks. You're not killing both, and whatever one you don't kill will annihilate you. Let alone the rest of my team. But this is a map with Abyss tiles, so it is much more difficult to set that game plan up. Akira responding to Akira creates this weird shuffle of nothing else. It makes the inevitable happen twice, which means the first Akira has to get more value or else. Yes, but I don't know if it changes the amount of value it has to get. The reason I say that is, I mean, I guess it does. I guess it does, because no matter what, I can't believe this paddles did something. I don't understand why this paddles was on the board to begin with. But the paddles did, in fact, enable Gravedigger to get in there. Minor misplay here. You want to hit with the Gravedigger first so you get more heal, but whatever, who cares? But yeah, I guess the first Akira has to get more value because you will get this massive displacement from the other player, the responding player, and therefore they are likely to be able to get a huge amount of value in their retaliation. So you need to cripple them harder to ensure that they don't go over the top afterwards. But it looks like our orange player wanted to wait for, like, the perfect Akira moment. I guess there wasn't anything available on that turn, but I feel like there should have been. If nothing else, just pull everything in and then shriek at them with Blondie, right? Uh-oh. The right play made by our blue player here, capping literally all of the panic points. Double kill via Abyss tiles there. Triple kill via Abyss tiles there. Oof. Hanging on for dear life with this, but I don't think there's enough time. It would appear that there is not. This one went down to the wire. Very scary endgame, as pointed out in the notes, but able to squeak it out. Very even match. Well done. So Akira matches can be interesting. We already know that, but it's funny to point out now, especially post-nerf. Oh. Alright, just a couple more tonight, chat. Quite literally, I believe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, this is the 8th one, so. Alright. Mech-ode, I returneth this stair-mast flesh crolope. I mean, I know what you're saying. What happens if Akira pulls 2 turns sooner? Well, it was only a, a 1 turn. Sorry. It's only a one-turn warm-up nerf. But I think it does dramatically change how the face of that game. Just because, like, our hero had aggressively positioned their Akira simply because bad guy could not pull yet. They just wouldn't have been able to do that. So the game would have probably slowed down. I think. Mech-ode rocking the jack. We've had a bunch of Jackalope games tonight. A bunch? Well, I guess this is only the second one, right? I'm losing track already, chat. I'm losing track of the Jackalopes. Paschetti, huh? I don't know. That seems odd. Paschetti seems weird. Just to shoo away the Cyclops? Like, eh. No fear of the lava. That seems not worth it. 800 health. There was really nothing you could do. I was trying to see, like, oh, well, what if you sent a snowball out there or whatever? It wouldn't have mattered. It does shoo away the Hevo, though. There is something to be said for that, but I'm pretty sure Mopsy's going to eat it. Yep. I don't know about that one. I mean, if you're going Jackalopes, you got to make do with what you got, but that one's questionable. Still panic point advantage, bad guy. Are we baiting the Paschetti in? We're baiting the Paschetti. What does this spaghetti even do? When I listened back to that stream, it was last week or the week before, I laughed. I laughed a lot. That was funny. I still don't know. I feel like it was on the... Was it on this map, too? Nah, it couldn't have been. I think this just came into rotation, but I don't understand what this spaghetti is doing. Like, at all. Not real clear what the Jackalope King is doing either right now. So I get you don't want it forward because you don't want the erratic to chain, but wouldn't you rather it? I don't know. Temptress, get out of here. The spaghetti attack is so weird. Alright, so Flesh Crawler can get a big tentacles hit here. You might be able to dive and kill the erratic if you commit with, like, everything. Tentacles! I do appreciate that mech-ode has, like, no fear whatsoever of losing any of these Jackalopes. Like, just doesn't care. Because mech-ode is just slamming these Jackalopes onto the lava tiles. In fact, there is a Stairmaster. Kind of looking like my eyes right now. Very bloodshot. Very itchy. Oh, that is a solid Klepto hit. Two Jackalopes consigned to the next world. Their bones finally laid to rest. No tentacles this time, so how are we getting out of here? Or apparently the exit is directly through Ginseng. Jackalope putting in work. Unfortunately, it dies in the process. Womp wah. Jar? Snowball. Bad guy in shambles. Honestly, kind of are. I don't know how they're dealing with this flesh crawler. They do have 4 hits available plus 5 keys, so there are options. A Stairmaster of their own. No, not like this. Hero in shambles. Answering with their own klepto, huh? And a rusty. This one's tough. Panic points getting evened out. You're not going to be able to burn the heart. Why did that movement happen? Like, is the idea here you just want to be able to retreat to help defend? Could you not have positioned the Rusty in a safe spot to then be able to pin down the Stairmaster? Which is kind of all that would have happened? Very confused by that one. That seemed weird. You know, if I didn't already know the amount of turns, this is a game that I would have said would have gone to like 50 or 60 turns, as both players, like, refuse to actually fight each other. Outtown population, you bad guy. 6-2 panic point advantage. That is going to add up very quickly. 940 damage to the heart. Very well played there, mech-ode. Honestly, I mean, I commented on it earlier, but I do like when people use phobies outside of, I don't want to say their intended purpose, but like the jackalopes here, obviously you don't want to put your res phobies on lava. There's a risk of them, I mean, they take the damage, and then if they die, they're dead. So I love that mech-ode was willing to just push. Be like, nope, you know what? If they die, they die. And got a lot of value out of the jackalopes over the course of that game, I gotta say. So, either way, GG. Alright, so we're cycling back. We are cycling back to the top. Got some dupes. We're staying on top of it for now. We're staying on top of these games so that we don't have this big build-up like we usually do. Hopefully we can stay like this until a patch. So the notes here is we're looking at another Dama game. Almost all dimensionals only against over-leveled mech meta. Ah, these sinuses. Gotta get through one more game after this, chat. Sometimes I do think about postponing viewer games when I feel like this. And I'm like, but then I'll come back next week and there'll be 7,000 games and we'll end up missing a ton, so I end up doing them anyway. It is what it is. So, I was talking about it earlier, but the new update, I would be very interested to see if we get a anti-mech map tile or mechanic or something, because we have disease, we have poison. We don't have a electricity tile. And I imagine we will see one eventually. So I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen it yet. But all of the tiles are also phobia abilities. You know, like, I mean, we have Bluelian who can literally make healing spas, but we have healing phobies, we have disease phobies, we have poison phobies, we have displacement phobies, we have power-up phobies. But we're missing electricity damage. And I'd be curious to see how the devs are going to implement that. What I'd like to see, and it doesn't have to be directly tied to the electricity tiles themselves, but have there be like an on-off tile, where it's like it's active some turns, it's deactivated some turns. It would obviously be on a schedule, so it would be like every other, like you have a cycle, it starts on, both players have it on. Then player 1 it's off for, then player 2 it's off for, then on player 1's turn it turns back on again, then player 2 it's on, or something like that. It might mess with the community's head a little bit, but I think it would be fine. And you can obviously have an animation. Like you have already, if you watch the heart, you have these spikes that show up that indicate what the panic point differential is at any given point in time. So you could have something very similar that just, you know, the trap door opens up, or there's a grate, or whatever. There's a Baba Yaga because, I don't know, reasons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are, in fact, some mechs. The repeller's a little weird. I'm sure it's just simply, like, this is a 3-ranger, but... I don't know. Little Thunder Rocks action. I don't love that. Thunder Rocks does not seem good here. That is just, like, never gonna connect. You have no poles. You don't have Shove Shark. And their mechs are all ranged. Including a repeller that can keep away melee. Tiny Tim. Sure. I don't know if I would quite call this mech meta. The composition from Bad Guy. There certainly are some mechs. And you could say that those 3 mechs are meta. Or meta... participants? Components? I don't know. But I was kind of expecting, like, mono mechs. And our hero, as mentioned in the notes, is going mostly dimensionals, but some of them are questionable. Like, the Baba Yaga doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. The Thunder Rocks doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The other ones seem reasonable. I don't know that you need Charon. And I think this is a good example of why the mechs are going to be meta on this map. It's less about, oh, well, I mean, it is and it isn't about their ability to dodge the disease tiles, because at the end of the day, the disease isn't that big of a deal, but it does make your life a lot easier rather than having to manage the Charon setup or that sort of thing to try and get value out of it. Bad Guy flirting with danger with those traps. this enough? I doubt it. Oh yeah, Stabby was down there. I was like, why didn't the Stabby attack? This looks like it could be a very mean setup from Bad Guy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bad Guy's in for a bad time. Count it down, chat. Boom. I only got one kill. I didn't get the, I was expecting the snowball to go as well, at the very least, but our hero's going to be able to mop this up pretty cleanly. Is that worth it? I guess if you're going to use a brony, you might as well use it. Is that worth it? I don't know about that. I mean, our hero does have to get a significant advantage here with their team also turned off. I mean, because the brony will wear off for you first, you can jump on them pretty effectively. Fortitude panic point advantage. Bad Guy's going to have another turn of being unable to participate in the game, although the Hevo can remove some of these nuisances, namely the Cyclops. Oh, for a second I thought they were going to stop on the trap and end turn, which would have been hilarious. I don't think you're racing with the Akira. This does give you panic point parity. I totally forgot the Baba Yaga was back there. I completely forgot. I'm like, how is this Hevo gonna die? Turns out Baba Yaga's right there. Yeah, so this Akira's not long for the world. Sizzle cleaned that up. I guess the Baba Yaga's gonna have to do the work here. Honestly, the Tiny Tim... like, it can't attack the Baba Yaga, because it probably just dies. This is an interesting mind game because... okay. Alright, Tiny Tim smushes Baba Yaga thanks to Gonzo. How the hell do you win this? Oh, the Gonzo's super beat up. I didn't realize that. And there's no escape here from the brony. Oh, that'll be a double kill. Wonder if Bad Guy forgot about that trap. Bad Guy is now stuck between the proverbial rock and hard place. Well played, Dama. Alright. Alright. Alright, last game, chat, and then I'm going to bed. Last game, and then I'm going to bed. Hopefully sleep off whatever's bothering me. Once again with the cheeseburger. Jesus. Well, I guess we're going to end the night the way we started. We got a 43-turn game. Mildred needs to chill. No, I think the viewers need to chill with these freakishly long games. Why are these games so long? Oh my god. It feels even longer because I'm so tired. Like, I guess I'm tired, but I would say drained is probably the more accurate description. When it's sinus issues like this, that's what's gonna happen. Like, I was trying to get work done earlier today, testing and stuff for these tournaments coming up, and it's just like, yeah, my brain is not properly functioning trying to test these matchups. Like, I don't know if I need to throw away all the data I collected today. So we have an early Leela out of bad guy. Our hero kind of... I don't know, I don't like the snappy response. That's the way I'll put it. I'm not a huge fan of the snappy here. Innocuous is way more reasonable. Way more reasonable. So there's got to be at least one trap on the board at this stage. But without... Like, Unicorn's not going to be a very strong anti-trap tool. However, Oopsie Baby will help out in that department. Yikes. Down goes Sock Ass and consumed by the disease trap. Blasto? You know, Blasto's probably okay here, because if they have access to Shove Shark, they can definitely get it all up on our hero's team. I don't know what the relationship with creep to snappy is. So, for example, if you creep on level and hit a Gravedigger, it will kill the Gravedigger. Assuming that it doesn't heal a lot or, you know, something else. I don't know. I guess it has to self-heal. It's the only way. But I don't know where Snappy ends up. And again, you kind of want to do this in the other order so the Snappy regenerates more health. Cooking the boom. Boom replacement. Erratic coming out. It's fine. Counter erratic. I don't love bad guys positioning with this Moffat, and I really do feel like they need a Shove Shark. That being said, our hero can't really safely advance due to the threat of Leela traps. We do get a very significant power down here. And that's a big deal. Is that a trap? And not a disease trap. All right. And obviously the erratic retaliation on non-electricals here, way less exciting than it could be due to the power down. Doesn't even look like enough. Wow. That's like a huge amount of effort to kill Snappy. Retaliation here probably isn't going to be that good because one movers. All right. Cat goes down. I like going after erratic here. Obviously, you get displaced by the snowball. But softening up the erratic when it can't heal via chain, I mean, it's going to heal a little bit, but not that much. That's actually really effective. Bad guy on not quite a full retreat, but effectively a full retreat. I don't know about that. That, I don't understand that. That feels like a super desperate thing to do. Like, why are you sending in Droney like that? Erratic connecting first. So our hero just needs to take note of where they've been standing, that there are no traps. Interesting that they have so many undead into a Leela, right? Did we trade erratics? Possibly. I don't know if Snowball's up. We're going to find out. Oh, never mind. Leela's right there. Leela actually does represent a fair amount of damage. Benny! Oh, that's it. Both players are out of keys, and yet we still have almost 30 more turns. Oh my god. Is that worth it? Okay, yeah, I get it. I forgot you can target the obstacle with Mildred. For some reason, I was thinking you couldn't. Alright, that is enough damage to take down the Inoculus. I thought there wasn't going to be. Bad guy aggressively pushing for the top corner panic point. This is going to be another game where Oopsie Baby's just dancing around the middle for 400 turns, huh? Like, how do you ever kill this Benny? Are you just sending Cassery in right now? Oh, that feels bad. That being said, what the hell does Bad Guy do to this Mildred? Or do to fight this Mildred, rather. So right now, it sure seems like a whole hell of a lot of nothing. Chipping away at the Blasto, and then dropping an entire legion of cats on it. Still lives, though. 32 health. Yeah, I don't know how you fight the Mildred at this stage. Bad guy did not respect the dead cat lady. Alright, so hold on. Look closely at Mildred's arm. So you can see by the hip that there's a stitch, right? And then I guess on the ass, there are stitches there to hold the ass on. And it looks like there's a stitch here, you know, like the mouth is sewn shut. Are the arms at the triceps stitched onto, like, their arms sewn here? You know what I mean? Like, I gotta see Mildred move again. No, it looks like the cat went under there. Unless it stretched it. I don't know, like, why are those stitches there? Oh, I think it's supposed to be, like, they're wrapping around behind the tricep. Like, the arm is split down the middle kind of thing, and it's sewn together in two parts, maybe? Do you not lose the Moffat and the lasso? Squashed. Okay, so... What? Why is that cowbell there? That guy's at 4,200 health. It'll take like 8 turns of Mildred because it, you know, you gotta hit, then you gotta wait, then you gotta hit, then you gotta wait. Are you not better off just like sprinting and capping as many points as you can and then going after the heart? I don't know. Okay, but now why wouldn't you? 742. All right, let's see where our hero decides to go with it. I feel like they're going to kill it. Yep. Kill the Inoculus. Dude, what is... I don't know. Bad guy is not the only one tonight to just make, like, some really weird decisions, but... these were, in fact, strange. This is incredibly stupid. This is incredibly stupid. Oh my god. And that, folks, would be lethal damage. 294. I do not feel that bad guy put themselves in the best position to win over the course of that game. But well played, Cheeseburger. Well played, GG. Alright, chat. I'm going to call it an evening because I am tired. I need to rest. We'll see about tomorrow, see how my sinuses are doing. But that's going to do it for tonight. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time for more Random's Thoughts.